The world has encountered many cruel rulers that use terror to gain control of public. They ruled with an iron fist and an unrelenting thirst for power and recognition. In this video, we are presenting you, from bad to worst, the top 10 evil men, the most cruel rulers ever in history. Number 10. Attila the Hun. Attila, frequently referred to as Attila the Hun, was the ruler of the Huns from 434 until his death in March 453. During his reign, he was one of the most feared enemies of the Western and Eastern Roman empires. In much of Western Europe, he is remembered as the epitome of cruelty and rapacity. It is speculated that he killed his brother Bleda to keep the throne for himself, as well as his son. He marched through France and Italy and killed hundreds of thousands. When Attila found the perpetual virgin, Saint Ursula, and wanted to marry her, she refused, and he proceeded to kill her and her 11,000 companions. Number 9. Pol Pot. Pol Pot was the leader of the Khmer Rouge and the Prime Minister of Cambodia from 1976 to 1979. His radical communist government killed and displaced millions of innocent people and left behind disease, hardship, and starvation. At least 1 million people died from forced labor, starvation, torture and execution during his regime. Number 8. Timur. Timur, historically known as Emir Timur in Tamerlane, was also the first ruler in the Timurid dynasty. He ruled Central Asia from 1411 to 1449. While he was a patron of the arts, he is best known as being the most powerful and feared ruler in the Muslim world after defeating the Mamluks, the Ottoman Empire, and the Sultanate of Delhi. He would kill surrendered soldiers and civilians, decapitate thousands, and even force entire cities to jump from very high walls to their deaths. It was estimated that he caused the deaths of around 17 million people. Number 7. Vlad Tepes. Prince of Wallachia, Vlad the Impaler was known for killing his enemies by impalement. Vlad is best known for the legends of the exceedingly cruel punishments he imposed during his reign and for serving as the primary inspiration for the vampire. He was a fan of various forms of torture, including disemboweling and rectal and facial impalement. He tortured thousands while he ate and drank among the corpses. He impaled every person in the city of Amlas, nearly 20,000 men, women, and children. He also liked to cut off noses, ears, sexual organs and limbs. Number 6. Ivan IV of Russia. Ivan IV Vasilievich, commonly known as Ivan the Terrible, was the Grand Prince of Moscow from 1533 to 1547 and was the first ruler of Russia and the first to be proclaimed Tsar of Russia. He was fond of impaling people as well, and he burned alive at least thousands of people. Ivan's soldiers built walls around the perimeter of the city in order to prevent the people of the city from escaping. Between 500 and 1,000 people were gathered every day by the troops, then tortured and killed in front of Ivan and his son. Ivan died from a stroke while playing chess with Bogdan Belsky on 28 March, 1584. Number 5. Adolf Eichmann. Otto Adolf Eichmann was a German Nazi SS Obersturmbannführer and one of the major organizers of the Holocaust. He was born in March 19, 1906, in Solingen, a small industrial city in the Rhineland. He was hanged by the State of Israel for his part in the Nazi extermination of Jews during World War II. He said, "The death of 5 million Jews on my conscience gives me extraordinary satisfaction." Number 4. Leopold II of Belgium. Leopold II was the second king of the Belgians, known for the founding and exploitation of the Congo Free State as a private venture. He succeeded his father to the Belgian throne in 1865 and reigned for 44 years until his death. Leopold created the Congo Free State, a private project undertaken to extract rubber and ivory in the Congo region of Central Africa, which relied on forced labor and resulted in the deaths of approximately 3 million Congolese. Number 3. Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was a German politician who was the leader of the Nazi Party, Chancellor of Germany from 1933 to 1945, and leader of Nazi Germany from 1934 to 1945. As dictator of the German Reich, he initiated World War II and Europe in September 1939 and was central to the Holocaust. By the end of the Second World War, Hitler's policies of territorial conquest and racial subjugation had brought death and destruction to tens of millions of people, including the genocide of some 6 million Jews in what is now known as the Holocaust. On 30 April 1945, Hitler committed suicide, shooting himself while simultaneously biting into a cyanide capsule. Number 2. Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong, also known as Chairman Mao, was a Chinese communist revolutionary and founding father of the People's Republic of China, which he governed from its establishment in 1949 until his death in 1976. In 1957, he launched the Great Leap Forward campaign in an attempt to rapidly industrialize the country and transform China's economy. This campaign led to the deadliest famine in history, killing between 20 and 30 million people. In death toll alone, Mao Zedong is one of the most ruthless rulers of all time, contributing to the deaths of 40 to 70 million people through starvation, forced labor, mass murder, executions, and democide. Number 1. Joseph Stalin. Joseph Vissarionovich Stalin was the leader of the Soviet Union from the mid-1920s until his death in 1953. Among the Bolshevik revolutionaries who brought about the Russian Revolution in 1917, Stalin probably exercised greater political power than any other figure in history. During the 1930s, millions of peasants were either killed or permitted to starve to death by his orders. During his reign, he brought about deaths of around 20 million of his own people, while holding the Soviet Union in his grip for 29 years.